Okay, here's a weird question. We drink cow milk. We drink goat milk. Some people drink sheep milk. Humans have even figured out how to milk camels, yaks, buffalo, and reindeer. So why not pigs? Pigs are mammals. They produce milk. Their milk contains fat, protein, sugar, and basically everything you'd expect from mammalian milk. So what's stopping us? Why did humans look at a cow and think, yes, milk that? Then look at a pig and somehow decide, absolutely not. And the answer has almost nothing to do with whether pig milk is edible. It has everything to do with the animal. First, pigs absolutely produce milk. A mother pig, called a sow, can produce a surprising amount of milk for her piglets. But there's one enormous problem. You can't easily milk her. And that sounds like a small inconvenience. It isn't. Think about how a cow behaves. A cow has a large udder with 4 relatively accessible teats. You can stand beside the animal, attach a milking machine, and collect liters of milk. A pig is completely different. A sow has a long row of small mammary glands running along her underside. Instead of one large storage system, she has many small milk outlets. And here's the really important part. The milk isn't sitting there waiting for you. Piglets trigger milk release through nursing. They stimulate the teats. The sow releases milk in short, rapid letdown events. The entire system is designed around one thing: a group of hungry piglets attacking the milk supply at the same time, not a human standing beside her with a bucket. A piglet can nurse from a particular teat. Another piglet has another one. They compete. They establish positions. And the sow releases milk in brief bursts. For a farmer trying to collect milk, that's a nightmare. But maybe you could just use a milking machine? Technically, you can attempt it. But now you're dealing with another problem: quantity. A cow produces enormous amounts of milk relative to what her calf needs. Humans took advantage of that. Modern dairy cows have been selectively bred to produce far more milk than a single calf requires. That surplus is what humans collect. Pigs aren't like that. A sow's milk production is tightly matched to a litter of piglets. And pigs can have large litters, sometimes 10 or more piglets. Those piglets are extremely efficient at consuming the milk themselves. There isn't an enormous leftover pool waiting for humans. And that changes the economics completely. Now let's compare pigs with cows. Why did cows become dairy animals? Because cows are basically perfect for the job. They're large, they're relatively calm, they can live on grass and other fibrous plants. They can be handled in groups. Their udders are accessible. They produce large quantities of milk. And perhaps most importantly, they can be milked without killing them. That last part is huge. You don't have to kill a cow to get milk. You can milk her every day for months. Then she can produce another calf. The same animal becomes a renewable food source. That's an extraordinary deal. Now imagine trying to do the same thing with pigs. Pigs are intelligent, strong, fast, and not particularly interested in cooperating with your morning milking routine. A large sow with a litter of piglets can be dangerous if stressed. And even if you successfully collected the milk, you'd still have a relatively small amount compared with what a dairy cow can provide. So the farmer asks a simple question: why bother? And humans are extremely good at answering that question. We don't just ask, can we eat this? We ask, can we produce this cheaply at enormous scale? That's where pigs lose. But there's another fascinating reason. Pig milk is not especially convenient for humans to process. Milk composition varies between species. Pig milk is relatively rich in fat and protein because piglets grow extremely quickly. Piglets need to become large animals fast, so their mothers produce milk designed for rapid growth. That doesn't make pig milk poisonous, it just makes it different from cow milk. And here's something important. Humans don't drink cow milk because it was somehow biologically designed for humans. We drink it because humans developed the technology and culture to exploit cattle. Thousands of years of domestication transformed milk from an animal's private resource into a human food. Once that system existed, everything built around it: cheese, butter, yogurt, cream, milk powder, whey, thousands of products. The dairy industry became enormous. And once an industry becomes enormous, it becomes very difficult for a completely different animal to replace it. Imagine trying to create a global pig dairy industry from scratch. You would need specialized breeds, specialized milking equipment, specialized handling systems, processing facilities, transportation, new recipes, new consumer habits, and you'd still be competing against cows that already produce huge amounts of milk efficiently. There is simply no reason to make the switch. Now, here's where history gets interesting. Humans actually experimented with many different milk-producing animals: cattle, goats, sheep, camels, buffalo, yaks, mares, reindeer, donkeys. Even some wild animals have been milked by humans in particular circumstances. So why did these animals succeed while pigs didn't? Because domestication isn't random. Humans tend to favor animals that are manageable, reproduce reliably, live in groups, eat relatively cheap food, and provide something useful without constantly trying to kill you. Cows score incredibly well. Goats score incredibly well. Sheep score incredibly well. Pigs, they're fantastic for meat, but terrible candidates for dairy farming. And this reveals something fascinating about domestication. The animals humans domesticated weren't necessarily the animals with the best food. They were the animals with the best combination of biology and behavior. A pig can produce milk. But producing milk isn't enough. The animal has to make the milk accessible. And that's where the pig fails spectacularly. There's also a cultural factor. Once humans began associating certain animals with milk, those traditions became deeply established. In Europe, cows became dominant. Around the Mediterranean, goats and sheep became important. In parts of Africa and Asia, people developed traditions around cattle, camels, and other animals. People didn't need every possible milk source. They needed reliable ones. And once a community had one, there was little incentive to experiment with something much harder. Now, imagine the prehistoric farmer making the decision. There's a pig nearby. It has a litter of piglets. You could spend hours trying to collect a small amount of milk from an angry animal, or you could walk over to your cow and collect several liters. The decision isn't exactly difficult. So, we don't drink pig milk, not because it's impossible, not because it's automatically dangerous, and not because humans somehow can't digest it. We don't drink it because pigs are terrible dairy animals. Their anatomy makes milking difficult. Their milk is produced in short nursing bursts. Their piglets consume most of it. The amount available for humans is relatively small, and pigs are far more economically valuable to us as meat-producing animals. Meanwhile, cows are basically the opposite. Easy to handle, easy to milk. Large udders, huge milk production, calm enough to manage, and capable of producing milk repeatedly. So humans didn't look at every mammal on Earth and randomly choose cows. We tested nature's options over thousands of years, and cows happened to be one of the best answers. The pig wasn't rejected because its milk was bad. It was rejected because the pig itself was bad at being a dairy machine, which is why tomorrow morning, when you pour milk into your coffee, you probably won't have to worry about a pig staring at you from the carton. It has much better things to do, like turning breakfast into